Good afternoon, YouTube. How are you doing? For those new to the channel, I'm Matthew, and this is Matthew Hawker Gaming. So today we're going to do celebrate the end of the year. Well, it's nearly the end of the year anyway. We're going to do another room tour video. So when I started out on YouTube, the first video I did was a room tour video. So that was nearly 3 years ago. So that was in 2022, I believe. At the time, I'd been in my game room for an hour. Sorry. I've been in the game room for a year, so now I'm coming up to was it like 4 years or so in the room. Anyway, I'm going to just show you a tour of the room for those new to the channel. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And say it's going to be a lot better quality this room tour video than the last one I've done. Partly because I've been on YouTube longer and I've been making videos a lot longer now, and I've learned more. Also, my phone has now been improved thanks to my brother. I got upgraded from when I started. I had an iPhone 8. So I'm now on an iPhone 13 Pro, so the video should be at 4K. Anyway, before we go into the game room, and also, so we're still in the same room as last time, but we're going to sneak preview the what I'll be moving afterwards as well. I'll just show you what you see our tree in the hall. Right, I'll just show you what I moved out of the room. I just moved all the stuff on the floor out of the room. Some Switch 2 stuff, some torches, paracetamol, yeah, Hard Life Gaming, some pad boxes, my dog's bed. My channel logo is my dog Soph. She's a Shih Tzu. Right, so we've got some bucket, some cleaning stuff. Room gets cleaned most weeks. That's my Switch one. We'll see why the Switch one is out of the thing. It's my chair. It's just my blanket and some clothing. My brother got me this jumper for my birthday. It's a Pikachu Christmas jumper. It's some random stuff, like that's another chair. There's a copy of Sergeant Pepper's on vinyl. It's first edition pressing. I might as well get that out to show you, to be honest, because I think it's worth showing. Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. It's a first edition pressing. Right, so then you say there's the Hoover, the cleaning bit. Right, we'll go into the room. Yeah, I know someone last year said the door doesn't look very good, but like most of the doors in my house are like that. All right, we're going into the room. I'll show you It's a small room. It's quite compact. Right, so we're in the game room now. So we're going to show you. I'll just do a brief panorama of the room. So we've got my thing. So this is the first corner. So basically go around. You see, that's the thing. I'll explain everything in more detail at the moment. So that's like the modern side of the room with the PC and the consoles. That's the retro side. So we've got the PVM plugged in. That's the view from the window. It's winter, obviously, and it's cold out the side and everything. And then, so that's basically one side. And then we go to the other bit. So we've got the racks of games. So you've got everything basically. We'll explain it in more detail in a minute, and then you see you've got pretty much everything, and something goes down. Some of the games are double stacked, some are not. Right, so without further ado, so first we'll start out. Okay, so we start out from this corner. So in this corner, this is the Xbox inverted commas side of the room. To say I've only got the Xbox Series X plugged in at the moment because I don't really have room. The aim is when I get into a bigger room is to have everything plugged in. Anyway, the Xbox Series X does play most Xbox games anyway. So that's Xbox Series X. Oh, I will show you what's in the... So these are they're just storage drawers, yeah? But in the storage drawers, so that's the controller drawer. As you can see, there's PS5 controller, there's Xbox controller, and some charging cables. All right, so you've got... I apologize if there's dust. It's normally clean most weeks, but you can see the black consoles build up a lot of dust. Okay, so that's new to when we did the last room tour. So now instead of the Wii in, I've got the Wii U. The advantage of having the Wii in is the Wii can play GameCube games, whereas the Wii U can play Wii and Wii U games. So I can't just fit them both in. As you see, the pad next to it, that's the gamepad. That's one of the things that's unique about the Wii U is the controller. It will be on a video later. I'm going to do a controller video. I know I keep meaning to do it, but it's just trying to get everything out, and a lot of it's in boxes. I'll show you some of my boxes later. So that's the Switch 2. So that's the newest addition to the console side, and one of the biggest releases of the year. Nintendo basically the thing, and you say those are on the fence about a Switch 2. I'm saying if you want a Switch that plays all the games or nearly all of them, there might be a couple of exceptions, but I haven't had any problems with it. And when you say the Switch 2 is well worth getting, they're starting to release more games now as the year goes on. And I mean, you say next year they'll be bringing out some of the bigger games will probably be coming. I mean, you say, what if I've been playing on it at the moment? I've got Metroid was Prime 4, which that took 18 years for that game to release. And when you say, and I've been playing quite a few other games on it. Pokemon ZA, the DLCs just came out. Right, so that's the Switch. We're trying not to spend too much time on everything because I've got a lot to show. Okay, so then behind, yeah, that was the Wii U and the Switch too. So now we've got, I'll go down to the ground level. So we've got on the ground, this is my printer. This is an HP. I can't remember the model number. And so I'll link what I can. And you say all the games and most of what I've got are going to be, I'll link my collection on price charting. So it'll tell you roughly what they go for. And then you say a lot of the stuff I've had from new, but a lot of my stuff is I've got from, I'm a bargain hunter fairly with the thing. And I've got a lot of my games from charity shops and car boot sales. So a charity shop, for those that don't know, is a European, in America it would be called a thrift store. Car boot sale was something that's unique to Europe. I think they're European in origin. I apologise if there's any background noise. I'm next to a railway line. Right, so a car boot is where people sell things out the back of the car, basically in the field or car park normally. And a lot of my games have come from there. Anyway, the stuff on top of the printer is just games I've either got the stuff I'm playing. So that all my Switch, so most of my Switch 2 games are just down there because they're easy for me to get to. You see, I've got my 3DS down there, a couple of Xbox 360 games, and Arrow on DVD, I believe. Right. We'll go up. So basically the main feature of my thing is my TV. So it's an LG TV. It's a 65-inch LG NanoCell, I believe. It's an 8K TV. I bought an 8K TV to go with the PC. I'll show you the PC in a minute. Anyway, you said the TV is pretty good. The only it would have dropped in price massively now because at the time they said it was a £2,500 display or thereabouts. I mean, you say now it would be not quite as much. I mean, you say the only thing it doesn't have is it's not OLED and it doesn't have G-Sync. I got a TV as opposed to a monitor because I wanted to get more value out of it because I actually use it for TV as well. And I use it with combination with all the PC and all the modern consoles. Eventually, I hope to be able to get an upscaler and be able to plug all the older stuff into it as well. Anyway, right, that's the TV. As you see, I've got the sound bar, the thing. That keeps disconnecting at some reason. Oh, so we've seen one thing. So since last time, we've upgraded the internet. The internet is now being upgraded. We're on full fibre now. It didn't used to be. Now we're but like it probably needs another upgrade. It's a bit. We sometimes get problems. Now some of the stuff is now hardwired into. It's down there, the little hub thing. But we're running out of ports, so I can't wire everything in. But all the main consoles are like wired to try and get a better connection. Anyway, that was the TV. We need to say that's my. We'll go into the PC in a minute. That's the TV box. So this was upgraded from last time to say now. We used to have what was called satellite TV. Now we've got BTE TV package, which basically gives us access to all the Sky channels, all the film channels, all the sports channels. And you say I'm mostly so it's got like stuff like it's got all the Sky channels. Say I'm in Europe, I'm in England for those that don't know me in person. And when you say it's got all those channels, it's got most of the premium channels as well. It's got Netflix Premium. I mainly watch the wrestling, the WWE. And I would say that was one of the biggest things that came to Netflix this year. And now you don't even have to pay for the events as long as you have a Netflix subscription. Anyway, the TV's fairly good. Other than you don't get, what do you not get? You don't get Amazon Prime and you don't get Apple. But I think everything else is pretty much on there as part of the package. Right. Can we say we've got the so that's just the power adapter for the Wii U. We've got that's a PlayStation 5. I mean, you say, but so the PlayStation 5, I just renewed my subscription to PlayStation anyway. The PlayStation subscription is slightly different to an Xbox one because PlayStation actually give you games each month, whereas Xbox Game Pass is good, but you don't actually own the games. Well, the PlayStation, you get the games and you like, well, you own them as much as you own a digital game anyway, but they give you new ones each month. I can't remember what it was. I think it was Lego Horizons, I believe, was this month. I still need to log in and claim them. I'll probably do that soon. Right. So now we've got, this is just some more stuff on the floor. So we've got that's a fan. It's pretty much essential because since it gets very hot in this room, well, it can get cold as well because you saw the blankets I had outside. No, but the fan is essential because when the PC's on, it gives out a ton of heat. So basically, you need the fan to dissipate the heat. Right, so I'm going to turn the lights off because I'm going to show you something now. I'm going to basically turn the PC on to show you the RGB. And this is louder than the Christmas tree anyway. Right, I'm going to turn on the PC. So this is my PC. I'm just going to move down to the floor. It's not a thing. I've turned the lights off. So we're going to turn on the PC. So this is my PC. So this has been with me now for nearly 4 years. So it's from overclockers.co.uk. So it's a UK-based company. Right, so I'm just going to show you this with the thing. So this was my first PC that was my own, and I use it for games, and basically I use it for video content, etc. So there you go. So that's the PC with the lights on. Basically, as you can see, it's got water cooling and everything. So basically, I'll tell you the stats for it in a minute. So you're going to have to take it in account. It's older now. So it's an i9 10900 processor. It's overclocked. It's running like 5 gig, I think it is. It's got a 3090. It's got 32 gig of DDR RAM. And you say RAM now has gone up in price drastically. Okay, so at the time when I got it, it was running Windows 10 Pro. Now I've been upgraded to Windows 11, and thanks to my IT guy, Richard, for sorting out when I have a problem with the PC. They say basically the problem I had with the PC was the liquid coolant had to be changed a couple of times. Well, that's not really a problem, but also the pump on the cooler went and it had to be changed. I might show you the pump. I've still got it in the other room. It's just a spare, the broken one. Right. Anyway, the PC is now fine, so it runs nearly every single game at like fairly high specifications. The only games you get into sometimes it struggles with. It struggles with Borderlands, the new Borderlands. For some reason, that game doesn't run very well at all. It runs at like 20 FPS. Anyway, I've no idea. But it does nearly everything I want it to, and I use it pretty much every day. Anyway, that's the PC. Alright, you say, so I recommend Overclockers for PC stuff as long as you're in the UK. You say, but it's on the expensive side. Okay? My TV's just dimmed. All right, that's my like the cable management. It's not great, but like I struggle to get to the back of things. All right, so now we've shown you the thing. Okay, so so I use, this is just my selection of remotes. I've got many remotes for various things. That's just the one for the TV and the TV remote, I think. So I use Xbox Series X controller on PC. So the Xbox Series X controller is my favorite controller. This is, I believe, it's a blue one. I like blue. It's one of my favourite colours. You say, okay, so this is the Xbox Series controller. The only thing I've got to say about them is they're not built very well. As you can see, I've got another one down there. That one, basically, they're generally developed drift or the sticks go out of alignment. And you say they do get heavy use, but like they shouldn't really do that. TV's just gone off. Right, so you say we've got, so that's my PC keyboard. That's a Corsair, I can't remember the model number of it. It's it's Corsair RGB something, so it's got RGB lighting. There's nearly all of it's Corsair, other than there's one exception. The mouse is Razer. The mouse is a Razer Basilisk. Anyway, the things, they're all fairly good. The keyboard's got lots of things. You've got macro keys on the side. You see, you can use the inbuilt software to customize the lighting. It looks better with the lights off, but I've turned them on for the video. Right, so the mouse has got various. It's got also buttons on the side that you can customize. Right, so we've done that. Right, so that's that. We're going on to the retro side of the. Sorry, I just covered the thing up. My hand goes after a while. Anyway, right. So let's go on to the retro side of the room. So on the retro side of the room, we have this. So this is for those that don't know. So this is, you can't plug your old style consoles into a newer style TV without it, like an adapter or like things, and technically you probably want an upscaling device as well. All right, sorry, I'm just going to hold this. My hand is going. Right. So this is my Sony PVM. So this is basically and I've got a Sony Trinitron in another room as well, but I can't get it in here. There's not enough room. Anyway, this is a Sony PVM. So this is what is called a professional video monitor, is what they're short for. And there's also BVM, which is like broadcast video monitor as well. Anyway, this is basically professional CRT. It's only a small one. It's I think it's 20. It's a 20M2MDE, I believe. Anyway, this is professional CRT. I use it with the retro consoles. The only problem with it being is that it's slightly more complicated to use than a regular CRT. If you haven't used one before, you might need to look some things up. And they also weigh a ton. If you're trying to get one shipped, it's that you have to be careful what you're doing, basically. And if they develop problems... Anyway, I haven't had any problems. I'm just going to show you the back of it. And you see I've got I'll show you what consoles I've got in a minute. So I've got it on a swivel mount my brother used. Right, you're just going to have to go around there because I can't really swing it anymore. Right, so you can see they've got you see how many different kinds of coloured cables there are. Normally you have your red, yellow and blue. This one's got like green, white and stuff as well. Anyway, you need different cables to plug this into. Anyway, this one came from a hospital and it has been repurposed for my retro games. Anyway, it's a really good thing. They only go up to about 30 inches though in size. So anyway, that's my PVM. Right, so underneath we've got, so this is one of the biggest things in my collection. And as you say, I've linked my collection on Price Charging. This is my Neo Geo. So this is AES. So this is the Japanese model. So this is being, and I've got the multi-game cart in there at the moment. So that's been one of my most expensive consoles, and the Neo Geo is a very expensive machine to collect for. So it came out in the early 90s, 1991, I believe is accurate. And you say the games, when it released, it was worth 500, 600, something around launch that. And the games they came out and they were about in the £250 range. For the time, that was equal to what a Super Nintendo or a Mega Drive would retail for instance. Anyway, since I did last time, I got a multi-game cart, so I can now play all the games. But it doesn't have all the games. I've only got 2 real games. I'll show you a real game later. Anyway, so I showed you this in one of my pickup videos. Anyway, I also do various pickup videos showing what I've been buying at various points during the year. I try and do 1 or 2 of those a year. I just did 1. Right, so now that's the AES. Then that's another controller for the Neo Geo. That's the it originates from the CD. The controller also behind it. We've got my PC Engine. That's the Super Graphics. That's for. I've got most of the games for it. There are only like 6 or 7 games, I believe. I've got like 3 to 4 of them, I believe. Right, that's the actual AES controller. It's quite heavy. I recommend using it, playing with it on a table to support it. It's just some cables, more cables. That Xbox pad doesn't work. Right, so you show some boxes. View from the window. Alright, let's start on the games. Right, so basically I collect for most things. So my primary focus at the moment is I like Nintendo games, don't get me wrong, but Nintendo's very expensive to collect for, particularly if you're going for stuff like SNES or NES, for instance. But you don't get to see many of those games in the wild. For instance, in the charity shops, you don't see those games at all, and they're very, very hard to find now. Anyway, one of my main focuses is on Xbox 360. As you see, you see how many shelves of Xbox 360 are. There's loads of them. There's like 10 plus. All right, so I'll start at the top. All right, so up the top is on the top rack is my PC stuff. So that's all PC. So PC used to get games on disc for those that are more recent. So PC games, they're all physical boxed ones. There's some big box stuff in there. I'm just going to show you a couple of things. So this is one of my more unusual games. So this is Typing of the Dead. This is the PC version. Bear in mind, this also came out on it was a Dreamcast game. That was Japanese. Oh, I'm mainly a European collector, so I mainly collect PAL games. But there are differences where I do collect some Japanese games, and I'll show you what I collect Japanese games for in a minute. All right, so this is Typing of the Dead. So this came out it also came out on the Dreamcast. It was Japanese only. And it also was apparently recently, I only found out it came out on PlayStation 2 as well. I mean, say this game I got in a charity shop, for instance. This game I paid like £1 for, and I think it goes for nearly 100. So just check out my on price charting. It's all it is basically House of the Dead, rather than using the light gun. And I like light gun games. I've done collection videos, and when you say I've done a collection, more focused collection videos on most of the stuff I've featured in this video. Anyway, so it's Typing of the Dead. So it's basically House of the Dead 2, where you type other than use a light gun. Alright, so there's big box stuff. So this is Total Rome 2. That's the collector's edition. So that's a huge box. That's one of the biggest PC boxes. It's still got the price tag on it. That's what I paid for it. Alright, boxes. That's my Basilisk box, my headsets, various different games. Okay, so we go down. So I've tried to... So all my games, as I say, I've only really organised the Xbox 360 by genre because I've got a lot of them. But like the other ones aren't really in any particular order. So on this shelf is basically collections games. So these are stuff like the double packs and like stuff like the Mega Drive collection, double pack games. So those are those. We've got more. And then we go on to basically my shmup collection, or shooters, or bullet hell games, or whatever you want to call it. I like my shooters. So these I've got. So these I go for Japanese games as well, because in European thing there wasn't that many released. As you see, I've got most of the European ones. And you see Death Smiles and stuff like that was the first one I played. Going through to Donpachi and Donpachi Res. I've got like game on like 3 platforms now. Right, I'll show you some Japanese ones. That's Donpachi Saideiju. I bought that like a year or so ago now, and you say unfortunately they did port it to the Switch, so it's lost a bit of money, and it was relatively expensive as well. All right, that's Donpachi, one of my games. All right, so now I've got them by genre. So these are all sports games. So there's an entire rack of sports games. They're like your FIFAs, your Tiger Woods, NHL. So my favourite sports games are tennis or golf. Those. Then we've got I've got various game room decorations. So I've got these various different Funko Pops or equivalent. So I mainly try and get the gaming ones. I mean that one's technically Marvel. So I'm a big Magic player. So I also do various MTG content and various CCG content on the channel as well. Alright, so that's that shelf. Now we've got RPGs. I do like RPGs. I've got quite a few of them. Oh, there's even 2 copies of LA Noire. I'm not sure. I think one of them doesn't work. I do have a disc resurfacer though. Alright, so then you see these are all RPGs. Oh, I've put the Souls-like games with them. So Dark Souls, as you see, is on that as well. You've got Dragon Age, Fable, various Final Fantasy games. There's say one of the Magic sets recently released was a Final Fantasy crossover. Well, that was an old one now. It's like Avatar's the current one, but Final Fantasy was also done. Got Mass Effect. You've got various Square Enix games. Basically, you got those. You got the thing, and you got a Fallout pop holding up the things. Right, so we go down the shelf. You say okay. So I've got. So you see I've got various different bowls and various mugs and stuff. So I like collecting various stuff to decorate. So basically I don't think I'm going to use most of it, but like I do like them. And you say they're quite easy to get. You'll see some more in a minute. So this shelf is music games. There's stuff like DJ Hero. I think a DJ Hero 2's under my desk because I was playing it. Guitar Hero, Rock Band, got Lips and thing. So this is a shelf that has various different. I put collections of games on here. So these ones are all Assassin's Creed. I recently found out I didn't have Assassin's Creed 2 before recently. That was just a hole in the collection. Anyway, I think I've got most of them, and these are all Lego games. I've also got all these on various other platforms as well, but I'm going for a complete set of 360 games anyway. European set. It's around 1,100, I believe. I currently have around 300 and something, so that's around a third of the collection. I mean, I'm not sure what the most expensive one on 360 is. I think my Japanese games are worth more. Alright, so this is Xbox One. These are all basically playable on Xbox Series console. I mean, you say I've got... Some of them are sealed. I think there's the odd sealed one in here. This one's sealed. I'm not a sealed collector personally, but like if they're cheap, I'll buy them. And if I don't have to open them, but I can play them either on Xbox digitally or something like that. I mean, and I don't have to open... That's the thing. I try to avoid double stacking my games because I won't like to be able to see what I've got. But some of them, the shelves are going to be more populated than others. More Xbox games. Right. So these are all fighting games. We've put the wrestling games in the fighting games section rather than the sport. As you say, I know I like my wrestling. There's some interesting things in there. So they've got the WWEs. I think I'm missing, I'm missing 16, I believe. Right, so you've got more things. You've got BlazBlue, you've got Super Street Fighter, you've got Street Fighter, all kind of Heart and stuff, Tekken Tag 2. Right, let me go down the shelf. So this is like where I not a huge amount of thing. These are just general games. I think these are RTSs actually, and some multi things. The ones I've got on the end are generally the stuff I haven't got around to shelving or I'm running out. So this is the carryover from the racing game. Need for Speed Hot Pursuit. I've got the remastered version on PlayStation 5. So it's a PS4 game technically, but plays on 5. It was given away fairly recently, I think. One of the monthly games. All right, these are all racing games. So I mainly like arcade racing games rather than the more realistic games. So I'm more into more the arcade racing games rather than the ones that are realistic with the handling. So I like these the Burnouts and stuff rather than the more modern stuff. Right, so these are the racing games. I do have some. This is my F1 game. I believe I'm missing a motorcycle racing game. I don't think I've got one of those, or not on PC anyway. Not on Xbox, sorry. And we say then we've got various, I think these are going into the action games. And you've got the Call of Duty games, and many Call of Duty games, or COD as they call it. You've got Borderlands, the physical ones. You've got Fear. And that's one of the thing going to, there's Gears of War. I'll just do it from the top. So this is basically all my some more disc-based stuff. So this is Amiga, which is one of the first computers I started on anyway. So that's Amiga disc stuff. I'm still looking for a box of games. There's a loose box of discs somewhere. Anyway, I remember good memories of Amiga. I think that copy of Lemmings that's down there's got an original CX tag on it. CX is Computer Exchange. So it's one of the UK stores. It started in London and then it basically branched out from London. And we say that's the bulk of my Switch games that are on the thing. There's some special edition stuff that I can't quite fit on the shelf. There's some heavy hitting DS games there. We'll go into those in a minute. Alright, so these are just more Xbox. Nothing special. Xbox. And as you say that I've got these larger box games, they're harder to fit in because the box size on that thing. So alright, so now we go into, so we've got, that was all Xbox 360. So now we've got, this is original Xbox. And you see we've got some bigger hitters in here. So we've got the Otogi 1 and the Otogi 2. Picked those both up from a charity shop. I paid like £3 each for it, and each of them are like £50 or so. And they're, for those that don't know what Otogi, it's a Souls like game. It's from Software as well, so it's actually by the same people that did Demon Souls, but it was way earlier. All right, so now we've got my Xbox slippers. They're too small for me. They won't fit me. But like, I mean, you say these are fairly common at this time of year. They're quite easy to get. They make good gifts for people. And as you see, they've got the mug, which light. It doesn't. It heats. Yeah, it changes color, I believe. All right, so we go on to Wii. I mean, you say nothing's better thing to be Wii. I've got the original Game Boy mug. That's quite cool. It looks like this Super Mario. We've got a thing. So then we got Wii U. These are newer to the room. I mean, so I bought a Wii U near. It's quite late in its life. So because I knew the Wii U eShop was being discontinued, so I wanted to pick up the games before they increased in price. And I got about 20 or so, and I've got some digital ones as well. I'm going for a full set of Wii U. Can't remember how many games it is. I think it's 200 and something. All right, so now we go down. We've got so these ones. So those are my gun games, or most of them. They are double stacked, though. There's stuff behind it, and I won't be able to get them out. There's another PlayStation mug and sock set. So it's like Dreamcast games. I've got. I mean, there's about a couple of hundred of those again. I think I've got 30. Anyway, go to look at my collection and price charting, and you can see what I've got. We're not going to spend any huge amount of time on these. So these are all my GameCube games, about 30 of them again. They're all European, bar there's, I think, one. You see the one with that yellow spine is Pac-Man and Pac-Man World 2. I believe that's American NTSC. See, one of my big box of GameCube games, Zelda Four Swords. That also made my best of Nintendo games. Check out my best of Nintendo video. All right, we go down the shelf. I'm getting my workout today. So this is PlayStation 3. I've had most of these machines from new. So currently everything I've shown you is basically from new. PlayStation 2, 3, etc. I've had from new. Alright, these are PlayStation 3. I was mainly a 360 thing. And you say PlayStation did not launch with trophies. Xbox did. PlayStation added trophy support later. I mean, some of these games are still exclusive. I was watching a video on YouTube yesterday about exclusive PS3 games, and there's still some of these are still exclusive. I believe Killzone is still exclusive, and I'm talking about playing the physical one rather than emulating it. And some of the God of War games are exclusive, like Ascension, I believe. Alright, that's PlayStation 3. Alright, now we'll go up to the thing. Right, so next up we've got, this is the Nintendo shelf, basically. So we've got various selection of Nintendo consoles, and as you see, I've got a lot of DS and 3DS. I like those machines. I still need a new Nintendo 3DS, because at the time I bought my 3DS, I've just got a regular 3DS XL, I believe it is. It's the red one. It was in the video earlier. Yeah, and then we say a lot of these games most of them are European, although there's a couple of exceptions. You can see the ones with the thinner cases. Some of them are Americans, and there's one or two Japanese games, I believe. All right, that's the Nintendo shelf. There's quite a lot of Pokemon games and RPGs. That's what the thing is good for, is all those. And you see these ones, right? So that's the most of the Nintendo things. We go on to like Super Nintendo. Right, so there's some big. There's also N64 and NES behind it as well. Right, so Super Nintendo was my first console. I started out on that, and then I moved my way up. I had most of the others from new. I had SNES, N64, GameCube, Wii. I didn't have Wii U or Switch from new, but Switch 2 I got when it came out. Right, so I'm going to show you something. So these are some of my more valuable games. And you say Nintendo games are basically harder to collect in good condition. And I'm mainly go for complete in-box games. I don't generally collect loose games, but unless they're cheap. And you see there are some loose ones floating around. I have to put them in these semi bags. I think that's actually an adapter, as well as is it Illusion of Gaia? I think. Let's see, have a look. Yeah, it's Illusion of Gaia. So that's Illusion of Time is the European name for it. I mean, you say from basically, I kept most of my games from PS1 onwards. But like at the time, SNES games were expensive. You think Switch 2 games are expensive now? SNES games were expensive. They were £50 plus in the mid-90s. And now saying now a Switch 2 game is 60, 66, 67, somewhere around that price. All right. Anyway, so these are the thing. So this is Super Metroid. I've shown that before. So let's show you something more interesting. All right, I can't find a price on this. So sorry, I'm trying to get... So this is a double pack. So these are basically, double packs are slightly more expensive generally to collect for than most of the individual items. And you can see this is the Killer Instinct F-Zero double pack. I can't find a price on price charting on this. As you see, you can save $14.99 on it. And it also, for those who know, it comes with a Killer Cuts, which is the music CD for Killer Instinct. Killer Instinct's a fighting game, and you see that's the original F-Zero on the SNES. And so I can't find a price for it on price charting. There's also various other ones that I've only found out about recently. It's such as the Super Metroid Big Box that comes with Zelda as well. That's an expensive game. Metroid Suit is 200 and something. The one with Zelda, that's nearly 1,000 or something. Okay, that's that shelf. Right, so now we go on to more. So this is continuation of the DS. Those see the stack of Pokemon games. Going for a complete set. Going for a complete living Dex. I think my brother's got me one for Christmas, actually. As you see, I've got 2 copies of X. Right, and you can say these are... Okay, this is the Sega shelf. So I didn't start on a Mega Drive. My first Sega console was a Game Gear, which is the handheld. And I got the consoles later. I remember getting my Mega Drive paid for about £3 for it, my original one anyway. I'll show you one of the things. So Sega to collect for. These have got these nice hard cases. So as you see, this is what we call the blue box series of games. So lots of people are going for complete sets of those. I like Mega Drive. I mean, you say the boxes are easier to collect for than SNES. This is probably my heaviest hitting Mega Drive game. Is Castlevania New Generation or Bloodline, I believe. I paid £3 for it. I believe it's a couple of £100 now. And you say Mega Drive is also good for shooting games. Like there's the Thunder Force series and stuff. I believe the Thunder Force games are all behind that, so I'm not going to get them off. Then you've got Master System, so that's the thing. I think I've got 3 different Master System variants. I've got Model 1, Model 2. I think I've got a couple of pack-in variants. So these are Game Gear games. So Game Gear, for instance, was the Sega handheld. But you see, it launched after the Game Boy. The difference between the Game Gear games compared to the Game Boy was original Game Boy games were in black and white. Game Gear was in colour. The difference between the Game Boy and the Game Gear is the battery life. Because originally, if you were trying to play Game Gear, the batteries, it went through 6 AAA batteries in like an hour. The Game Boy took 2 AA batteries and it lasted like 24 hours plus. This is Crystal Warriors. This is one of the best games on the machine. It's similar. It's a tactical RPG before they became popular. So if you remember stuff like Fire Emblem, you're going to like Crystal Warriors. I got this for my birthday one year. It's quite expensive now. It's over £100. I can't quite remember how much it is. And you see, I've got some Rogue Magic cards, various different DVDs. I need to put my media into the room at the point I put all my DVDs. So these are a selection of music DVDs. You've got Wave Twisters, which is an animated film with a scratch kind of soundtrack. It's also a music album as well. Got Star Wars, which I only saw recently. It's about a history of graffiti and breakdancing and that kind of stuff. Scratch, a history of DJing. You've got Hobbit 3D Blu-ray, I believe. The Sega Saturn games are behind that. My main mistake on Sega Saturn was when I got my Sega Saturn broke, and you say I got a second one to replace it. I think the disc lens went. Anyway, I've still got it. And I've got the newer one. Was not buying Panzer Dragoon Saga. The guy with it had a copy of Panzer Saga. He wanted £50 for it. And at the time, I wasn't really wanting to buy it at the time. Unfortunately, now it's £1,000 game, so that was quite a mistake. Anyway, we learn. I know I've got bargains over the years. Right, so we go down the shelf. So this is the PlayStation shelf. There's various different things on it as well. You see there, I've got various different mugs. That's a mug, for instance. I got that on my 8th birthday, I believe. That's an OG Turtles mug. It's mainly PlayStation on this shelf with some other bits, but I'll show you stuff. So this is like a Mario Game & Watch. So this is, I didn't pay very much for this. I've got a couple. I've got 2 or 3. I had this boxed at one point, but I traded it into CEX when I got quite a bit for it. I put it towards some PS1 RPGs. Anyway, this one's still good. When you're collecting Game & Watches, your best thing is to look out for is, so on the back of them they have what's this battery cap, which is this thing. And this is basically what a D-pad originates from. So the history of the controller. So I can't open it very easily, but like, yeah, they've got battery caps on the back. You have to make sure the batteries haven't leaked into the compartment. All right, got some PlayStation 1 games. Got some pops, and these are some of my larger things. Like I've got Monster Hunter Limited Edition. You've got PlayStation hat. Various different things. Those were stuff from Kirby, the recent Kirby. That's a pretty good game, though. That was better than I thought. We've got Beatmania, 2 Magic Pops. We've got Jason Garrick. Right, I'll show you the most expensive game in the room. Right, so this is the most expensive game in the room. This is Castlevania Symphony of the Night. It's the best Castlevania game. It's where Metroidvania was born, basically. But we're between that and Super Metroid. Anyway, I didn't pay the tag price, the $19.99. I paid $3.50 for it. I found it in the charity shop. It was in Brighton. And you say it was on the front of a PlayStation, and I was like, I don't need the PlayStation. I don't want to carry it particularly. I'll buy it if I have to, but I offer them £3.50 for it. They took that, and I say it's worth 600 and something now. This one has the art book and the CD in it, which you get in the European one automatically, whereas in the Japanese and that, you had to get it if you pre-ordered it, I believe. Also, it's worth bearing in mind, this is the most expensive version of the game. The American and Japanese one are a lot cheaper. I mean, you say the American one had a greatest hits version. And as you see, PlayStations, you've got the original ones are the black spine, and then you've got these silver ones, which are the platinum ones. Right, so I'll see if I can get to this. What I got for Christmas, what was it, last year? That's a mug from my chinchillas. Alright, I'm just trying to get to my PC Engine games to show you PC Engine game. I've got various PC Engine games. That's Aldine. I'll probably have to pick these up. Granzor, Modo King Granzor, I believe. I think it's based on an anime. I'm not 100% on that one. And so I like shooters and bullet hell games. So you've got Darius. That's the one. And some random other ones. There's like Amiga, there's CDI and CD32, and I don't have one of those currently. There's an Astro Wars handheld in the back. Right, so this is the last shelf, and then we'll go down. So this is my PlayStation. So I've been PlayStation 2. We've got PlayStation. So these are the mini handheld. Mini consoles. So these are basically a way. They just made my last video. So these are a way to play the games on a more recent TV. The problem is they only have so many games built in, but you can mod them to put the other games on. Right, you've got these bigger box editions. I'll have to take these off. Got House of the Dead, one of the best gun games. Alright, some multiple games that I have multiple copies of that I don't... some of the gun games. There's a PlayStation 5. As you see, the PS4, there's someone got Japanese spine, and they're the bullet hell games. So that's PlayStation and PlayStation Vita. That's also, I believe, is my DS. Right, so that's pretty much everything in the room. Right, so now we're going to say what we're going to go into where we're going to be moving into. And then you say, all right, so Bobo to the game room. Right, so we're going to go into the new room. Right, so we're moving down the hall. Right, I mean, you say we're going down the hall. Okay, so the aim, when I go into the new room, is not going to be in a good state. It's going to be quite messy. It's to try and get all my consoles and stuff plugged in. So I'll show you most of the collection. And then you can say what is going to happen and what we're going to do. All right. So this is just the panorama, or like panorama of the room. I'll explain all the bits. This used to be the dining room. Coincidence, the room we used to be my dad's study, and unfortunately he passed away. But I mean, I then basically moved my stuff into there. Right, so that's just a panorama of the room, and you can see all the stuff. Right, so the aim when we move into this room is try and get everything in place. So as you see, I'm a big MTG collector. You see, this is a sum of my collection. As you see, the folders and the various boxes, I've got various portions of my collection. As you see, they've got set names and symbols on it. Various more of my collection. You see, there's a box of thing. So the box of Vectrex games. I'm going for a complete set of Vectrex. Anyway, there's some remains of what my dad's stuff thing. All right, so you see on the floor we've got various boxes. These are these are worth explaining. So these two are my first two computers. That's an Acorn Electron. Is the bottom one. The BBC Micro is the top one. So they're British, classic British home computers is the best way to describe them. The games for them used to come on cassette, and you say, look, so this is my very first game. This is my exact game. This is the first game I remember playing, and I remember the controls for it. And they used to come on tapes like this. So I basically need to find most of my tape games and stuff because they're still floating around. I haven't really showed that portion of the collection. Right, anyway, the aim is to basically move all my games into this room to basically, so we have far more space. This room is 3 or 4 times bigger, I think. It used to be the dining room. That was the dog's cage, the accessories. And we say that's where the internet thing is. Show you the rest of the floor. That was my brother's old car's bumper spoiler thing. So it was a Supra. It was the same kind of Fast and Furious, but not that his particular one. Right, it's various board games. So I say I'm a bit, board game collector. I'll do a board game collection tour at some point. Just how I need to get them all into one room. And I'll be doing that at some point. See, that's my Xbox 360. Well, that's one of my Xbox 360s. I need to get an RGH modded one at some point, so I can basically play all the games region free, and you can download the games and stuff to that. So that's my Xbox 360. Xbox 360 is great, other than in Red Ring. So avoid getting original models and stay away from them, and that's get more the slim models. I think the PlayStations have got the same problem as well. All right, so you see the selection of boxes up there. So we've got the Guitar Hero box, we've got PlayStation box, Super Graphics box, various handhelds. I think that's Vita Lynx. Got PlayStation 5, that's Xbox Series X. You've got Xbox. You've got I can't even see. Oh, that's Wii, isn't it? Yeah, Wii, Mega Drive, and various others. You see it goes around there. Various. I've started trying to put the board games in. There's some more recent pickups, so I might as well show them now. So this is from Josh. Thank you very much, Josh. I assume you're probably going to be watching this. So this is a Atari 7800 that I haven't shown before. Currently undergoing testing, but I haven't got all the cables with it. So if you can find the cables, I'd be appreciative. All right, so you've got various more stuff. You've got various board games. All right, so then you've got the more board games, and you see you've got DJ Hero, Guitar Hero, DDR, I believe. And then some more, that's the bulk of the consoles. I think there's probably a few more floating around. And we said, look at my collection and price charting. You see it. The Amiga, I've recently found the box of my old Amiga as well. So I've got 2 complete in-box ones. I'd like to get a better Amiga. So for that, I've got a 500. So a 500 with a mega expansion. And you say I'd like to get a 1200. And I found you can get like modded ones that have various things like been upgraded memory and stuff, so I'd like to get a 1200 at some point. Various magic cards that I haven't got around to filing. They say various things. They're not just rubbish ones either. There's a shouldered lurking there. We've got some vinyl and stuff that I haven't got around to putting. The coolant fluid for the PC. Various Xbox 360 controllers. Some work, some don't. I mean, you say that's basically it. Alright, thanks very much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, especially if you're new to the channel. It helps grow the content. I've been going on YouTube now for 3 years now. And you say I've been playing games for a long time. I've been playing nearly 40 years. I mean, I had my birthday. I'm 43, bear in mind. So you say everything. Anyway, don't forget, I'll keep doing these videos. So I try and do these physical collecting videos. I mean, I hadn't done as many this year as I have other years because I got distracted by the gameplay videos. But like, I aim to basically, my aim for the next year is to try and do more of these physical collecting videos for sure. And I also want to do more gameplay videos, but I want to, with gameplay videos, I want to do the gameplay for the classic consoles, but that involves me getting a capture card, and I haven't got one yet. And the one that I want is about around £300. So I'll see what I can do when I get that. And then you see, aim is to be able to plug all the consoles in this room. And then once I've done that, hopefully be able to show you some gameplay. Because at the moment, if I want to play it on my SNES, I have to go into another room, for instance, because I can't fit the TV in there, for instance, and I don't necessarily have the cable. I also will need a upscaler, so I'm probably going to get a Retro Tink 4K, and that enabled me, with combination with the correct cable, enabled me to play the games and capture them for you at the highest rate. Anyway, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Don't forget, I also do various other content on YouTube. I do also do MTG and CCG content. Anyway, everything will be linked in the playlists. And I'm going to say thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you again soon. Bye.